The video you're seeing below is of 18-year-old Henry Nowak out of Britain, and he was walking home and he was brutally stabbed 5 times by a Pakistani man who was open carrying a knife in Britain because they're not allowed to have guns. Young Henry was stabbed 5 times, called the police for help, and the police are handcuffing him right here, and they ask each other, should we check to see if he was stabbed? And the police say no. And then Henry Nowak dies because his hands are cuffed and he was receiving no medical attention. Now there is massive uproar across the nation as the killer did receive a verdict. However, the police need to be held responsible for this. When asked why about the provocation or why they put Henry in handcuffs, it's because the man who did the stabbing before things were sorted out said he was a racist and said there was a racial slur, which is illegal in Britain. This is coming to the United States. In fact, the foundation is already laid with DEI and so much of this anti-discrimination language and hate speech laws and regulations. This is what we can expect. We need to take a lesson from what's happening in Britain. Listen to Henry Nowak's father right here.
On the 3rd of December last year, Henry was walking home from a night out with his university football teammates when he encountered Vikram Digwa, a man openly carrying a large knife on the streets of Britain. That knife was used to take Henry's life. He should have been safe walking home. Instead, he became another young life lost to the brutal reality of knife crime in this country.
Across the nation, there are demonstrations. All across the world, people are standing with Henry Nowak because they are tired of rightful citizens being ran over and brutally treated by their own citizen policemen and by their own citizen leaders in favor of foreign nationals that are here illegally. What nobody wants to seem to admit that this DEI and anti-racism and all this equity training and all this diversity, inclusion, and equity and all this stuff has seeped its way into policies all across the nation, all across our state. So everything is being driven by those factors. So when a policeman or a law official or someone, a school official or someone looks at a situation, they look at it through the situation of who is the minority. And the minority is the one with the loudest voice, and the minority is the one who gets the preferential treatment. We are seeing this all across Washington state, where these anti-hate laws are giving platform and privilege to oppressed groups of people, so to speak, or religious minorities or racial minorities or gender minorities or sexual minorities or whatever the case might be. This is what is taking place, and we're going to see things like this happen more and more all across the globe if we don't put a stop to this runaway train of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is dangerous, damaging to society. Listen to this clip by Tommy Robinson, who is an activist in the UK, who is constantly in jail, but he puts it down. I apologize for the language, but there's no other way to say it. That we are in serious times.
Why was this Sikh man not charged with a hate crime? He made it about race when he rang the police and said, white boy. And he accused him of racism. So it was a racial murder. That's what this was. He was racially targeted by that man and he was murdered, and your police officers done nothing because he was white. Because you were so scared of this. So the officer who handcuffed him, the officer ignored his plea after plea after plea for an ambulance. He's been stabbed. They fucking ignored him. Would they ignored him if he was non-white? You bet your life they went off, because their training wouldn't have allowed them to. This all comes down to police training, government training. The hierarchy of the police, the head of that police is responsible. Your hands are dirty because you created this atmosphere. Not just the handcuffing officer, you, the government, Keir Starmer, every one of you brought in these policies that attack white people. That's what it is. This is an attack. And that is why Henry Nowak is dead, because he was white. So from when he was stabbed to when they actually got the ambulance, an hour against all of his pleas, an hour. You murdered him.